Though few and far between, Western settings are nothing new to the anime medium. And when I say Western, I'm not talking about cowboys and casino owners. I mean geographical regions. In a medium that's dominated by high school girls, slices of lives, exposed D-cups, and various Japanese tropes, these Euro-influenced departures tend to be a nice breath of fresh air. And Black Butler is certainly one of those. Based on Yana Tobosa's manga of the same name, it's set in England during the late 1880s. Zeon Phantomhive, the son of a wealthy earl, awakes to find every part of the life he had known completely stripped away. His home is burned to the ground, his parents are murdered, and he is kidnapped and surrounded by a Shota rapist cult thing? Consumed with rage, he decides to avenge his family. Not by donning capes and spandex, but by selling his soul to a demon, to wreak his revenge for him. To accomplish this goal, he takes his father's title as the Queen's guard dog, and uses his newfound pull in the royal house to obtain any information he can on the criminal underworld, to find the ones responsible for his parents' death. While the demon takes the form of Ciel's loyal butler, Sebastian Michaelis, who swears to protect his young master and slay any who stand in his way, until their contract is fulfilled. With a premise this dark, it should come as no surprise that the show's overall atmosphere is fairly bleak. The colors are often muted, the stories are grim, and the protagonist walks that fine line between apathetic stoicism and prickish angst. That being said, one might assume that this would end up being some moody character study, with the lead character monologues at great length lamenting over his tragic situation, until the show teetered on the brink of pretension. And if you were to do that, you'd be wrong. Though Ciel is most definitely the brooding archetype, the series makes sure to counterbalance this with a colorful supporting cast that adds some much needed levity to the show. And it's his interaction with them that fleshes out his character and really defines him as a person. Now, despite Ciel being the story's lead, it's his faithful demon Butler who really steals the show. Sebastian's sharp wit, smooth moves, cool demeanor, and pure, unfiltered badassitude not only adds a lot of variety to the series, but it easily makes him the anime's true star. The villains aren't really revealed until near the end, so I really can't say much about them. But rest assured that they are very well foreshadowed, and they definitely anchor the story in the very dark, weighty subject matter that it kicked off from. As for everyone else, as I stated earlier, the supporting cast is mostly played for laughs. But the writers make sure that all the side characters do stretch far beyond being a collection of throwaway jokes and pratfalls. By the end, what seems like a trite motley crew of vaudevillian stage performers are expanded into deeper characters that most viewers wouldn't expect them to be. The show's pacing is very episodic in the first half, consisting of short stories that span 1 to 2 episodes. Most of them focus on Ciel and Sebastian investigating cases for the Queen while trying to gather any information that might lead to the ones responsible for the Phantomhive's death. While the remaining episodes are more light-hearted, character-driven pieces, the second half is where things really pick up. The story arcs are a bit longer and start setting everything in place for its dramatic finale, that actually builds up to a far grander climax in terms of scale than the series would lead you to believe. If I were to compare Black Butler to anything, it would most likely be the original FMA anime. They both have European-inspired settings, both have very dark overtones, both have a very young protagonist that looked towards supernatural forces in reaction to his parents' death, and both were adapted from incomplete manga and have their own anime-exclusive villains and endings. That's right, the anime only adapts the first 5 volumes of the manga. From there, the series splits off into its own original finale. The writers weave original stories into the manga story arcs that help set up the anime-exclusive villains and make them feel they actually belong there, instead of just feeling like they were shoehorned into the end. Even though the anime steps far outside the boundaries of its source material, it's still able to deliver a very satisfying story and ending that makes sense within the context of the universe. On the technical side of things, the animation was handled by A1. And with that in mind, I must admit I'm impressed that a Western company, known mostly for making steak sauce, could put together animation that...
Are you serious?
About what?
Those are 2 different companies.
For real?
Are you telling me that you think A1 Steak Sauce has an animation division?
No. That would be dumb. I'll be right back. I have some things to look up. Huh. Apparently A1 is an animation studio owned by Aniplex, and has no connection to Steak Sauce. Oops. With that in mind, the animation here is decent. The frame rate is solid, the character designs occasionally go off model, and the fight scenes, though never hitting jaw-dropping levels of visual wonder, are at their very best aesthetically pleasing, and at the worst serviceable. The animation on a whole definitely hits the benchmarks one would expect from a modern anime series, but doesn't really go beyond that. The score was handled by Taku Iwasaki, a composer with a lot of versatility that he's displayed over many noteworthy titles. And for Black Butler, he definitely puts his best foot forward. The music mostly consists of orchestral tracks that range from haunting atmospheric pieces that complement the more sober scenes, to epic bombastic themes that add a lot of energy to the more intense action-centric parts. Where the music really shines is with Iwasaki's more unconventional songs, like The Stranger from India, or Jazzanoof, where he really shows off his range. As for the voice acting, the English dub was produced by Funimation, and it definitely lives up to the high standards that their actors are known for. J. Michael Tatum plays Sebastian with cool confidence, and delivers every line with a sense of superiority and a hint of condescension. Daniel Frederick plays a homosexual Grim Reaper whose name I'll omit for spoiler reasons, and portrays the character with an eccentric flamboyance that practically steals every scene he's in, while the rest of the cast turn in strong performances across the board. One major thing that Funny adds to the dub is region-specific accents. Zeon and Sebastian speak the Queen's English, while characters that are Indian have Indian accents, the Chinese have Chinese accents, and so on. And unlike Funimation's dub for Hetalia, where they aimed for racism and played the accents for laughs, here it's played completely straight. Now, some may really like this decision, like myself, while others may find distracting or annoying. The translation here is your Funimation standard, rewording things here and there, but sticking close enough to the Japanese script so they don't change the original meaning of what's being said. As for the Japanese dub, it of course has no special accents for the characters. The cast here provides a traditional and very well performed Japanese dub. Now if I were to recommend one, it would probably be the English track. Not only do the accents give it more personality, but Daisuke Ono's take on Sebastian is rather flat when compared to Tatum's. Also, the Japanese cast doesn't do the best job of pronouncing Western names. And some of you may think, well, yeah, they're Japanese, I wouldn't expect them to. Well, you should. If we're to expect English actors to have flawless pronunciation of Japanese names, then it's only fair to expect the same of their Eastern counterparts. Now, this doesn't mean that the English dub is outright perfect. One place it falls short is Brina Palencia's portrayal of Ciel Phantom Hive, which lacks a lot of the emotion that Maya Sakamoto had. And I know Palencia is a very talented voice actress, and I'm not sure if it's the voice she's using, or the accent, but her performance here is definitely being restricted. And though still good, just isn't on par with Sakamoto's. So you pretty much have to choose between having a better Sebastian, or a better Ciel. So it may just come down to how you feel about Funimation's use of accents. As for the special features, it comes with many of the standards you should expect from a Funimation release. English cast commentaries on select episodes, and clean opening and closings. On top of that, there's also a small bio for Becca, the singer for the first ending theme, a recap for the first 12 episodes, and a bonus OVA that's set somewhere in the middle of the series. Though it adds nothing to the story, it's still very entertaining and a very welcomed addition. And whether you're watching the original DVD release, or the newer DVD Blu-ray combo, it doesn't matter, because they share the exact same bonus material. In the end, Black Butler's balanced mixture of drama, action, and comedy make it a series with wide appeal that can be appreciated by just about anyone. And similar to animes like Fullmetal Alchemist, Trigun, and Cowboy Bebop, it's definitely one of those animes that can be enjoyed even by non-anime fans. The only thing some people may take issue with is the very bittersweet ending. And for them, there's always Black Butler too. But that's a review for another time. See you later! Alright, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe, watch some other videos. Yeah, it's really all I got. Yeah, so click some more videos. Go, watch, now.